CQ, CQ, this is W9GFO. Is anybody out there?
The people need to see what I've seen. They need to see...
This is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small moves, small moves.
It's not how civilized people do things. Being in this country illegally is a misdemeanor. They're not going after the big drug lords and stuff. They're afraid of the big drug lords. These people that are actually doing the operations, they don't look like trained military to me. They're way overweight. They don't know how their equipment works. They don't handle it well. They're just thugs, you know. They don't really have any police or military training. They're just conscripted thugs that wanted to beat up brown people. So they gave them a badge and a vest and sent them out to... You know, Los Angeles is one of the oldest cities in Mexico. Yes, I said Mexico. One of my favorite places on the planet is one of the oldest streets in Los Angeles, Olvera Street. It's a tourist trap, but it's right by the old plaza and restaurants and... Well, I'm going to show you someday. So I was going to raid the park after their 4th of July weekend. And they're claiming it's M13, is that what it's called? Anyway, this gang, the supposed gang from El Salvador. Well, you know, gang members don't hang out in the park. They've got other places to be. They don't need to be in the park. The last place they would be is in the park. Oh, maybe a few little low-level drug dealers might be in the park. But that wouldn't be the gangs. That would just be the people they hire to sell the drugs, you know? It's a stupid notion to think that gang members are going to be hanging out in MacArthur Park. I think, unless something has really radically changed in LA that I don't know about, which is possible because I haven't been there in decades, I don't think gang members would be hanging out in MacArthur Park. It just don't make sense. For one thing, I mean, if I was a gang member, I'd be inside where it's air conditioned, you know? I wouldn't be hanging out in the park. I mean, it gets hot out there in LA in the summer. And yeah, the park is kind of cool because there's trees and whatnot. But it's surrounded by asphalt and concrete, you know? I mean, yeah, there's trees in the center, but oh my God. I gotta remember there's holes in here. I'm gonna break my neck. That llama, I don't know where it went. I think it wandered down one of these caverns, ravines, whatever. I heard it a couple of times, but it took off down this way, and I haven't seen it since. I don't know where it went. So I'm thinking there aren't any gang members. I'm thinking these are a bunch of soft, lazy agents that are going after the low-hanging fruit, the stuff they can catch easily. You know, the people with lawnmowers, the people selling ice cream and oranges on the streets. I saw one of those paleta. It's a little refrigerated cart. Well, it's not refrigerated. It's like an ice chest on wheels on bicycle tires, and you push it with your hands, and it's got a little bell that rings and stickers on the side. They show what kinds of popsicles and stuff they sell. Really good ones made out of fruit, like mango and pineapple, pina colada, which is pineapple and coconut, which is one of my favorites. Coconut's my real favorite, but second is pina colada. You can get bowls of fruit in plastic cups, chopped up fruit, usually tropical. Again, mango and pineapple, and they'll squirt a little lime juice on it and some hot pepper, you know, either powdered seasoning or sauce. There's the garment workers downtown. excuse me, who work in horrible conditions and get paid by the piece. And they're scooping them up. I would like to save these oranges. Is there anything in that one? Yeah, there is. I'm really not happy with how my inventory is filling up. But I don't really know what to do about it. So, and most of those are women, and middle-aged women. They're making cheap stuff for us to wear. And then the factory gets raided. And their family never sees them again. Lots of little industries like that. Of course, there's farm workers, the food on your table, you know. I mean, I'm not going to stand in the hot sun or stooped over. I mean, bent in half. I'm not going to do that to get strawberries. And you know how little strawberries are, and they grow them on the ground. It seems to me it makes sense to grow them on raised beds, but they don't care about the health, safety, or comfort of the people who work for them, so they're on the ground. So these people have to bend way down to get them. Onions. Out here in New Mexico, they're really proud of their onions. It's hot, heavy, hard work. And they're scooping them up like they're really evil, dangerous people, and all they did was a little misdemeanor, kind of like, oh, look, pig wants. Let me see if, well, you know what, pig, I am going to feed you because eventually I would like pigs, so I would like you not to despawn. You want to be my friend? Okay, there you go. Is there any more pigs anywhere around? Because if there are, we could just get you a friend, you know? I'll go look. Whoa! I've still got this sheep and a boat I haven't done anywhere, too. There's always pigs around. I just haven't bothered to keep one from despawning by feeding it yet until now. So now, of course, I feel bad because I want this one to... Oh, I'm still carrying a potato. Bless its heart. I love the AI on this stuff. So I'm really, I'm ashamed of my government because, well, it really is like the 1930s. It's chilling. It makes my blood run cold to see the videos out of California and elsewhere, you know. It's happening all over the country. But it makes me sick. It really does look like Nazi Germany, and I'm not being hyperbolic. It really looks like Nazi Germany. And now this alligator Alcatraz, deliberately built to cause suffering. They know tents can't withstand hurricanes. Buildings can't withstand hurricanes. You know, we get winds out here 60 miles an hour, and I'm in this little shed, and it scares the hell out of me that it's just going to topple over and kill me. So those tents aren't going to make it. And the disease. There's going to be a lot of disease. People are crammed too close together. The sanitary conditions are bad. I think those, each one of those cages, they're locked in cages, and those are vinyl tents if the tent catches fire. Oh my God. There. Now I saved the pig. If the tent catches fire. Sorry. They deported a 4-year-old boy that was born here. A kid with cancer. How am I supposed to respect my government when they do something like that? And the whole point of this is to make us afraid, you know, make us intimidated, make us afraid to speak up and speak out. Because if you do, you know, then you're the bad guy. And like some woman just said something, well, I don't believe her, but she said something about people deserving the consequences of their own votes and whatnot. And she lost her job, and I thought, you know, We've got people in this country. There's 65 million Latinos in the United States. We have people in this country saying we can feed 65 million people to alligators. Of course, they mean Latinos. But it's okay to say that, right? A politician can say that. What the actual hell? What the hell's going on down here? When did it start raining? How much stuff is in my inventory? Well, it's not too bad. Okay, well, since I don't have the monsters on, guess what I'm gonna... Oh, God, I can't get out of my inventory. Oh, guess what I'm gonna do? Sorry about the rain, you guys. It's probably my fault. I apologize. So, it's okay to talk about feeding 65 million people to alligators. Putting them in a tent city that... Inside cages underneath a tent. Each one of those cages, it looks like it houses about 20, 30, maybe 50 people. Each tent, I don't know how many people, but it's hundreds in each tent. They're big tents. They're really big tents. Is that a mending? Yeah. It's not my best one, but you know what? It'll do. So it's okay to talk about, Alcatraz. People are suffering so much. It's deliberate. It's designed to make people suffer. It's designed to make them sick and die. It's designed for that. It's designed for that. They're punishing people for doing something no more illegal than like a traffic ticket. They're calling them hardened criminals. And some of them were here illegally, and they're trying to finish their paperwork. So they're what's it called? Spawn camping outside the damn federal office, court buildings and stuff, where these people are trying to get their paperwork together. They've got, honest to God, legitimate appointments with immigration, and everything was cool and copacetic with immigration. And the minute they show up to try to get their paperwork accomplished so they could renew visas or be here legally or get their green cards or apply for citizenship, you're scooping them up. And they're not even taking them back to the country of origin. You're starting to send people to Somalia. The people in Salvador, we hired a prison thing down there. The people in Salvador are being tortured and starved. Just like the camps in Germany. I mean, like Guantanamo is not in the United States, so they can get away with whatever they want. These black ops sites, they've had them for years and years. They used to be run by CIA and stuff to get foreign operatives if they wanted to torture so they could get information out of them. What was that place where they tied electrodes to people? Was that Abu Ghraib? We've been doing stuff like that for decades and decades. But now we're doing it out in the open. These aren't spies doing this. This is just typical regular government. This is our typical foreign policy now, is to put people in camps overseas and torture them. All above board. And that's bad enough, but... Oh, I actually hooked a real fish. Sorry, fish. And yeah, I think the ICE agents and the marshals and the cops and National Guard and whoever else is getting roped into this stuff, I think they should all resist. I think they should. I know it's unconstitutional, it's illegal, and they're participating in kidnap. Also without identification and with their faces covered and stuff. Anybody could walk up to you with their face covered and a Kevlar vest on and say, with ice and a patch on the back, and say they're an official of the government. You don't know because you can't verify who they are. They're not getting read their Miranda rights. They have no rights. They're not getting told what the charges are against them. They're not being told. They're not being offered legal representation. They can't have a lawyer. They're just kidnapping people off the streets, and anybody could do it. You just go on Amazon. You can buy a cheap uniform, fake uniform. It's already starting to happen where white men in cosplay, you know, are sneaking around the streets and trying to kidnap women. So I guess they expected us to be passive and weak, and I mean us because I'm an Angelino. They expected us to just be intimidated and scared, and they showed up. What, July 6th? Yeah. They showed up July 6th, 2 days after the holiday. Gonna cough. Ready to cause trouble. Whole military operation. Excuse me. And the people were waiting for him. And the mayor showed up. And the mayor told him to leave. Now, Los Angeles is going to get punished for that because the mayor told him to leave. It's going to be all about, well, she's a Democrat. And, you know, that's why they cracked down so hard on California anyway, because the governor said, no, you don't run my state, I do. And what you're doing is not official policy, and you can't just do whatever you want in my state because you want to do it. And they said they would punish Democratic-run states, and they are. So there will be repercussions because the mayor stood up. But what's most important is the people stood up. The thing that makes me sick about where I'm living, you know, this was Mexico too. Still is, as far as I'm concerned. This is Mexican territory, just like California is. Native American territory, just like California is. It's a whole different kettle of fish, bro. You can't just pretend like there was never anybody here but white people and Europeans, and, you know, you control what's going on, and, you know, this is their land. They didn't cross the border crossed them. And that's absolutely true. I mean, I got neighbors out here they got family 300 miles away and they can't walk across to go say, you know, they could drive down to the town nearby, but they can't walk over to the village their family lives in because of all these damn border things. Now they can't even do that because they've militarized the border. I think several hundred miles you're not allowed to go in because it's now considered military territory. There's people living down there. And they can't go to the store or whatever without getting stopped by the cops and threatened with being incarcerated for trying to go to Walmart, you know? Speaking of Walmart, there was one up here in Albuquerque, not too far from me. On Coors and Central, I think, there's a Walmart. You know what a Sparks driver is? It's when I order stuff on Walmart, because I have to, because there's hardly any place else I can get stuff delivered out here. And where it doesn't cost me anything to get things shipped, and where they'll take my food stamps. Can't do that on eBay. So sometimes they deliver stuff. They hire these drivers in their own personal vehicles. Come all the way out here in this desert to bring me my dog food and sometimes my donuts, my soda pop, or my drinking water or whatever. I don't know how much you get paid, but it ain't much. It's not like they're driving Mercedes-Benzes, you know. It's like Uber Eats or one of those things. But this is way out here. They drive way out here. Well, a guy who works for that company is called Sparks. He was in the Walmart, I guess, to pick up an order or drop off an order, or I don't know what. He's there because he's, you know, a subcontractor working for Walmart. ICE came in and somebody filmed it. They were told to leave and they finally did, but ICE came in and It, guys just try to earn a living, you know what I mean? Not hurting anybody, screaming, Ayuda, Ayuda, help, help. And nobody helped him. You know, Walmart could say you're not allowed on the property. Other companies have done that. They've just said, nope, not here. Dodger Stadium, you know, where the baseball game is. That's an historically Chicago neighborhood from way back in the day. Dodger Stadium didn't used to be there. There was a whole community there where the stadium is now. And Dodger Stadium is very aware of that, near East LA, in East LA. They know where they are. ICE tried to invade there, and Dodger Stadium said, no, you leave or we'll call the cops and have you arrested. You got to stand up to them. I'm so proud to be an Angelino. You know, sometimes I say, well, I'm not from Los Angeles anymore. The hell I'm not. I'm part of a long tradition, and I've participated in this tradition of resisting bullies and thugs like these illegal criminals who come in and harass and intimidate and abuse people, especially Latinos and, well, just people, you know, the Chinese who worked on the railroad, the Japanese farmers, people from everywhere. Now they're going to get rid of the Afghani people. The Afghani people they're getting rid of were helping the soldiers as translators and stuff. And they were allowed to leave with their entire families because if any family members that stayed, the people in power there would have killed their families in revenge, you know, because they helped the U.S. military. Now those people are being deported. They're deporting Haitians. That's got to be because they're black, right? I can't think of any other reason. My point making this video is I still see the white turkeys. I know what's true. You know what's true. I mean, people think it's funny to be a bully and harass people, but, you know, that's a coward. That's what a coward does. That's not what a man doesn't have to pick on a 70-year-old disabled person in a wheelchair, like my neighbor does. You know, threaten me or drive his car real fast, kick up dust in my eyes, threaten to run into my truck, run me down. You know, that's not a man. That's my neighbor, but he's not a man. And those ICE agents are the same kind of people. Thugs. They're thugs under masks. And what it takes is for, you know, the ones who are geeky, you guys make the apps so that we can track them on our phones. The ones who know the sneaky things, like, I just learned tampons make really good wicks. Like, you could stick them in a bottle, and the string sticks out, and you can light the string, and you have something that lights up. So there's people who know how to do that. There's people who know how to do medical care. There's people who know how to find the day-old food that's going to get thrown out and redistribute that food so people can eat it so it doesn't go to waste in the dumpster. There's people with all kinds. You have a talent. I don't know what your talent is, you know. You don't have to be on the front lines. You don't have to offer somebody medical advice or legal advice, or you don't have to pretend that you can do I don't know, martial arts or something. You don't have to do anything like that, but you have to do something. You have to do something. We all have to do something. It's kind of like one of the reasons I think people like this game so much, especially little kids, is these kids know that food comes from farms. It doesn't come in a can or a plastic bag in the freezer. You know, they know that you can make stuff for yourself. You can design stuff for yourself. You can build a house. And they don't get to do those kinds of things in real life. In real life, chicken comes in a plastic container, and their clothes are made by those poor sweatshop workers in downtown Los Angeles. who get paid by the piece and have no medical benefits, and if they get sick, they're kicked out and replaced by something else. And the chicken comes from a factory. Same kind of workers. Same kind of workers from the same countries. And again, if they get hurt, if their arm gets caught in a machine, it's all just covered up. The person is thrown out because they can't complain. They're illegal. That's why they hire illegal people, because illegal people can't complain. And they're not illegal. They just don't have documents. But if they go to the cops or something, they're going to get thrown out of the country. So they can't complain, right? And that's why they hire them. And if anything happens to them, that's okay. Out the door, bro, because we got 100 more waiting for your job. I pulled that out too fast. I do it all the time. I hover my thumb a little too close to the glass. I think I can aim better if I do that, but because I'm not looking at my thumb, I'm looking at the fish. Oops, I did it again. See? Every once in a while, you actually hook a fish. So do something. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could just be being nice to your neighbors, you know? Letting them know that you're one of the people that they could go to if they need some water, or if they need to borrow the phone, or, you know, just let them know. Let them know as long as you're around, there's going to be a can of soup. Be that kind of person. Everybody can be mean. I mean, it doesn't take any talent, it doesn't take any intelligence, it doesn't take any skill. It doesn't take anything to be mean. Be one of the people who sees the white turkeys. If you live in a place that's small, where everybody acts the same and believes the same and thinks the same, go to the library. You know, use your internet for good stuff, not just to watch stupid junk. Learn about the world that's outside of where you live. Really learn about it. Like, learn how to cook. Do you like Chinese food? Learn how to do that. Learn how to do things for yourself. That's why you like this game, right? You can do things for yourself. Doc M77 said the silliest thing the other day. Apparently it's very hot in Germany, and he got very sick. Well, not from the heat, but he was very sick. He started to recover from the heat, and now it's extremely hot in his apartment because they're having a heat wave in Europe, which everybody's complaining about, by the way. Okay, that one has vending, and it looks like it just about mended. That one looks like it's just about mended. And I just picked up another one. I'm breaking free. I can go over there. Ooh, look at all the things I got. You can get a whole lot of fish. Anyway, he was complaining about the heat. You remember, this is Doc M77. You know the guy I'm talking about? German engineering and excellence. He's complaining about the heat. And, you know, a lot of people in Europe don't have air conditioning. In fact, I was surprised to hear Zuma talk about he's got air conditioning. Almost nobody in Great Britain has air conditioning. Because up until recently, it never really got that hot, you know? So a lot of times in the summer when it does get hot, you'll hear people in Europe complaining about it because they don't have air conditioning. Well, Doc's going to talk to his landlord, and I'm thinking, what happened to German ingenuity and excellence and engineering and stuff? Bro, you can make your... He's complaining, I can't use my computer because it's too hot. You can make an air conditioner out of some either copper or aluminum tubing that's flexible, so you can bend it in like a spiral shape. You wrap it around a fan, a regular box fan that just blows air, right? On the outside, you just make a curly cube. And you hook it to some plastic tubing. And then you've got, like, say you've got okay, the fan is right here. And on the front is this spiral of tubing, the metal tubing. You've got plastic tubing, and this is an ice chest right here, okay? So the plastic tubing goes inside the ice chest. Inside the ice chest is ice and water. There's water in this tubing, too. So as the water goes through, it cools down, right? Because it hits the... this is hot water goes in, it cools off, and then it comes out this way, and it goes through the fan, and the fan blows cool air out. You can cool an entire room that way. And you can pump it with one of those little fish pumps. So he said, well, I got to talk to my landlord about getting air conditioning. Because, landlords don't want to do that because big air conditioning motors, they use a lot of electricity. Well, this little thing, all you need is a little box fan, which is just a little bit more electricity than a light bulb, and a little teeny tiny, like an aquarium pump, little teeny tiny pump. Just pump that water through. If you set it up right, you can even get it to go gravity fed, because hot water will rise and cold water will fall. So keep your fan down here and your ice chest up here. The cold water will come down and it'll go through the fan. Woo, woo, woo. And then it'll heat up and it'll rise and it'll go back. So all you need is a cheap ice chest. You get one made out of styrofoam for under $10. Get yourself a fish pump, an aquarium pump. You can get those for about $10. Get yourself a box fan for $20. So that's almost nothing, and then you run the air conditioning, and it's a lot less electricity than a refrigerator or, it's real cheap. So there's Mr. German engineering craftsmanship. He's supposed to be so smart. Sitting in there sweltering, and he could have been running air conditioning, keeping his PC cool. See, we get too dependent on them. That's why I don't like Minecraft Marketplace. We get too dependent on them. They tell us we don't know how to do things, and it ends up being true because we think they're going to help us, and they don't want to help us. They want to sell us junk. So we end up dependent on them, and Doc can make his own damn air conditioner. And he never even thought of it. He never even thought of it. Projectile protection, maybe. I don't know about piercing. That's bending, but it's got cursive vanishing on it. Well, I have to decide if I want that or not. What's this? Unbreaking and efficiency. One of these is silk touch. Whoop. Breaking and efficiency. Silk touch, right? Yep, silk touch. I have to make a chest just for books. Back here is all my... I've been buying these off Joe. That one I made. I have two more somewhere. I swear I do. Let's see. I thought... Oh, I combined them. That's right. Yeah, okay, let me see. Open it up. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I combined these. Silk Touch Unbreaking Efficiency. Nice. It cost me, I don't know, under 15 emeralds, and I got the emeralds by selling Joe potatoes and bales of hay and water bottles. Now listen, outside I hear my dogs. It sounds like one of them is in distress, like it's asking for help. And that's a priority, because... I've got sheriffs out here shooting my dogs, you know what I mean? Learn to think for yourselves, people. This is, it's... Nobody's gonna come and save us. Nobody is coming. We have to do this, you understand? It's up to us now. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. You have to learn how to take care of your health and your diet and all that. And what are you going to do if the banks run out of money? And what are you going to do if the cell phones stop working? And I wanted to do Granny in real life as part of this channel now. And I think it's more important than ever. Because you got to learn to take care of yourselves and each other. We have to take care of each other. Yeah, I'll do more on that. I've talked a lot. I'm just really proud to be from Los Angeles, I'm proud to not be small and scared, and I'm proud to be resourceful in the face of bullies. I'm proud that I know that chicken doesn't come in cellophane, that it comes from a real live animal that was walking around. I'm proud. Be proud. Be proud. You are alive. Wake up. I'd hug you, but my arms don't bend. Goodbye.
I will kill you.
Like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, or the